I feel like Mr. Rourke. Smiles, everybody. Smiles, smiles.
Too damned cold.
I do have a lovely smile for a podcast.
Thank you. It was expensive. Oh, my God. Good to see you. In studio today we have,
Colleen Bertino.
as usual, Kelly Guest and
Megan, hello.
Miss Megan. We haven't seen you for a while here at the old podcast. How you been?
Oh, I've been really good.
Yeah.
Cold, but good.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen you since the holidays. How'd you survive?
Gosh, I had like 5 Christmases. It was pretty
Nice.
ridiculous.
You're Irish, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
He got me. And then there was the first time going, spending some Christmases with the boyfriend. Like he came to my family, I went to his, and all those big steps.
How did
but
that
it
go?
was, it
Was it
went
fun?
really well. Yeah.
Does everybody like everybody?
Yeah, that I know of at least. They're not telling me, so
They're
I guess it
hiding
must
it
be
well.
good.
I still managed to keep all of my holidays separate from my guy because, he's got his rituals and I've got my rituals, which involves feeding my family. So we're perfectly fine. I don't have to deal with that. You go over there, I go over here. Life is good.
And Colleen, I think quite possibly you have the most perfect relationship, I think, of anybody I've ever encountered. I mean, you guys have this freaking dialed in. Both of you.
I think we figured it out. He's got his space. I got my space.
And yet you
Life
seem
is
happy.
good. Very much so.
And not drama. Like those of us who try to do all the traditional shit and try to kill each other sometimes, right?
No, I could not imagine trying to figure out, okay, who gets Thanksgiving, who gets Christmas. I understand that, 99.99% of people have to deal with this stuff.
Yeah.
But we've always been isolated for most of my family, so I never had to deal with it. When I have something like, oh, yeah, we're having, dinner for my niece's birthday, people look at me and go, you have a family thing? I mean, it's never really been a part of my normal existence. It really hasn't.
That is so funny. And you guys have been together how long?
Well, we've known each other for over 25 years, but we've been together for almost 8 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a decent track record.
Uh-huh.
That's nice.
They got what works for them. We got to figure it out.
Hey, any breaking news from Fantasy Gifts?
Let's see. Well, we're getting a lot of batteries in tomorrow. I almost made her spew her Coca-Cola.
Update.
In the middle of the meeting this morning, I got a call from FedEx saying they've got a pallet coming. It's 54 boxes. It's a zillion pounds. I don't think they said a zillion, but I can't remember what it is. And they'll be out. I'm like, what? I'm like, batteries. So batteries arrive tomorrow. Because not everything, not everyone's buying the $200 rechargeable toy.
That is not something from our company, believe it or not. If you can hear that buzz.
You know what it is? They're taking down trees that have been eaten outside the studio. That could not have been staged any better. And if it's not coming through across the microphones, there is what it is I believe it's a large chainsaws. Yeah, taking down trees that have been infected with the ash borer here. Alrighty, that was a sign from God here on the Great Northern Sexcast. Oh my God. So, do you guys, any of you have the Powerball fever thing going on?
I bought a ticket. I mean, really, my dad, I once sat down with him, and there was a big thing years ago, since he liked to play the lottery, and he got one of those forms that you fill out yourself. He had a set of numbers that he always played. Mm-hmm. But of course, he wanted a set of numbers with each Powerball. And this is before there were a lot of, I think there was only 45 Powerballs. It was, whatever it was smaller, before. And so I sat there, and I helped him fill out a zillion freaking Powerball things.
Oh,
and
sure.
then went over to the essay or the holiday and turned them all in.
Yeah.
And so I don't believe in stuff like this, but if I didn't play a ticket, at least buy a ticket, I'm pretty sure my dad would come back and haunt me. I have no doubts. This would be the one thing that would trigger it, let me tell you.
He's like a gambling ghost.
No, I'm sure he would,
It must be a dad thing. My dad did the same thing. You know how they have the sheets that you fill out
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
pencil,
yeah,
and
that's
then you
what
rerun them every week, right? That's what my dad, and he religiously played. He never won, rest his soul. But I did a weird thing. I had to take a road trip into Wisconsin on Sunday. Actually, Greta's going to doggy boot camp for 30 days. She hasn't. She's not being checked in yet, but it was our consult. I think it's going to be a beautiful thing. Anyway, I bought out of suspicion. I'm like, I should buy a Powerball, one in Wisconsin and one in Minnesota.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
I
really.
thought,
if your purse is anything like mine, can you just take your purse and sort of shake and then scoop a handful of change off the bottom?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. There's your, well, okay, you got to buy the multiplier thingy. So it's $3, you know, because really, if you're going to go the extra $1, it's less than a Starbucks, for freak's sake. And, no, that's what I did. I shook the purse and I fished it out and I bought 2 tickets.
That's awesome. Well, I got so tickled. And this comes to us out of Nevada. Now, here's an ironic, hilarious thing. Nevada, right? Legal brothels, Las Vegas. They don't sell Powerball there. It's not legal in Nevada. Like, how freaking funny is that?
Well, it would be competition.
So, well, yeah. So this TV station, Las Vegas-based, it was a Fox affiliate, had to go to a border town to get, lottery fever thing, because, like, that's, I live for that shit on TV, don't you? Like, I really want to hear what people in line have to say. Like, I couldn't figure it out. Ooh, I hope I win. I mean, what the fuck? Anyway.
Well, no, if you're here when people are standing in negative temperatures to buy a ticket, yeah, that's entertaining.
How stupid are you?
You can watch, I mean, you can walk into Cub and go through the service line and get a ticket. I don't know if I would stand out in the parking lot at the gas station and freeze my ass off.
Maybe they think it's a juju thing to up the odds. I don't know. I suffered for this ticket, therefore. Well, this chick, little anchor chick or reporter chick goes up to a guy and says, hey, what would you do if Lady Luck shines on you? And he said, I'd blow it on a bunch of hookers and cocaine. And it was live TV. And she loses it, right? And starts laughing, which I think is more appropriate than getting all offended. Right. Because, I mean,
$1.3 billion worth of hookers and cocaine.
At that point, it was only 500. So maybe
Who is he? Charlie Sheen? Wow.
I missed you, Megan.
He's probably the only person that could probably play. Well, yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah, I suppose you could. I'm just visualizing just how much cocaine.
It would be like the end of Scarface, I think. Say hello to my hooker friends.
It would be, because that's so fun. I really like the fact that as you're doing that, the chainsaws noise out the window is even worse. Because I'm pretty sure there was a chainsaw scene in Scarface that was pretty
what wasn't
violent.
In Scarface? I mean, seriously? Oh my God. So if you're gonna have a wedding night, a lot of people think that's kind of a big deal. It's a marker. You'll remember that. So this couple up in this happened up in Montreal. They bless their hearts, they're young, and they had an opportunity to rent their own apartment out on Airbnb, so it was cheaper. They were going to come out ahead if they went and got a motel and rented their okay. So they did it. So they went and had their little wedding night. They came home the next morning and their place was just absolutely trashed. And so they were like, okay, we'll clean this up when we go to bed and deal with it later. They were kind of bummed out. Well, then some other people came back in and they woke the couple up, and they're in the middle of an orgy and doing some drugs and everything else. They're like, well, who the fuck are you? And it was somebody that the guests had met and brought back in there. So it was a real debacle. Then the original guests, the Airbnb approved people, showed up and actually helped them clean and apologized and all of that kind of stuff. They're still in big ass trouble with Airbnb. But, these stories, I don't know.
They're Canadians. Of course they apologized.
Right.
I mean, isn't that how that works?
Oh my God.
I mean, yeah.
Sorry you boot the orgy.
Boot. Take off. Whatever. Oh my God.
No one's. I don't. I've seen vacation rental by owners, and I've done a few things like that where you're dealing with a management company and a bunch of other things. But I don't want someone I don't know driving me. I don't want to stay as someone I don't know staying in my place. I'm not staying in somebody else's place. It might work for others, not me.
Yeah.
It's not too surprising that these negative stories are starting to come up when you let strangers live in your house.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's weird though. I mean, that is very much of a European thing. It's so much more common over there. And I mean, I've had friends from Europe, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are so uptight. Why don't you do this or why don't you do that?" And we're all just horrified at the thought of our personal space. So now that we're doing it, we're like, "See, I told you, I was right. Oh, this is fun. No, you know."
No. Like I said, I mean, if I had a vacation property somewhere and I, knew about it, and I wasn't there that much, but my personal, no. It just no.
No. Have you guys ever done the subway thing in New York?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Went on the subway. Yep.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there's an annual. Did you guys know about the pantsless subway ride day?
Well, don't they do that here too? Didn't they have a
no pants subway ride?
No pants light rail or something day? Or no?
Yep.
Oh, did they do it here in Minneapolis?
They do it here. There was 7 people on this last one. I actually knew a group that they've been doing it for the past 4 or 5 years, I think. Okay. So there was a few people. Actually, they ended up riding on the light rail pantsless with all of the sad Viking fans after the game.
That is outstanding. I love that. Yep. Oh my God! Did you guys watch the game?
No.
I don't do football anymore.
I don't care at all.
I can't handle the idea. I can understand someone sacrificing a knee. I can understand someone sacrificing a hip. I can understand those things. I cannot understand someone sacrificing their brain. And I just lost. I have a hard time with that. I can't enjoy the game like I did before.
Oh, really? So you did, and then you got soured on it.
Yeah, I can't watch it anymore.
Yeah, it was a chip shot, for fuck's sake. 27 yards.
But then again, if maybe the other team members had done their jobs, it wouldn't be left up to him.
That's so true. And
so,
I mean, that guy, the kicker, Blair, whatever, stepped up and took it right like a man right after the game and just marched right into the fire. I give him, but you're right. That wasn't the only thing, but unfortunately, it always falls on those guys, the long snappers, the kickers, stuff like that. Well, anyway, back to the pantsless, no pants subway, real quick. This goes on worldwide. It's Tokyo, Madrid, Moscow, New York, all around, and it's so funny because they do it in the middle of winter, which I'm like, really? But you're supposed to wear like winter gear, that's like supposed to be part of the funny part of it. And everybody wears underwear with shit written across your butt, which most times I am not an advocate. I don't think anything should be written across anybody's ass in large letters. So Victoria's Secret, what were you thinking? Pink is not adorable when it's like the size of a billboard. It's just not cute. But yeah, so that just went down. 25 countries participated. Nice. I thought that was kind of cool.
I have Marvel underwear that says "I need a hero" on the back. Is that okay?
Well, you're not wearing it outside, right? Oh, okay, never mind.
Plead the fifth.
No, I would. Yeah.
Right.
I could handle a pantsless, bus ride or something.
I don't want my butt and my.
I'm like, well, what do they do after? I would not want to get on the light rail after seeing all the pantsless people leave. Because my first thought is, where am I sitting?
Hopefully you've got pants on. So really, what's the big deal?
That's true.
And I mean, honestly, asses are pretty clean. I mean, people do the thing. The toilet seat is not really that filthy. Your butt's really, the skin. They've done swabs. There's all sorts of different things.
Hotel rooms are worse.
You're in. I mean, it's really. I mean, really, my purse over here is a hell of a lot more disgusting, and my cell phone and all that is a hell of a lot more than the random person's buttocks. It really is.
There's just something about somebody else's ass. It's unsavory to me. I'm just gonna say, this is one of those that I threw in there. It does involve a kiss, so I thought it could. I don't always do everything totally about sex, but I found this and I'm like, who does this shit? This is the Damages for Dumbass headline that I've got here on the show. So there's a Chinese tourist in Thailand at an animal park, and she went up to get a gander at this reticulated python. Do you know what those are? They are the longest snakes in the world, okay? They can be like 20 feet, and they're not venomous, though, but that doesn't excuse what I'm about to tell you. This Chinese tourist leans in to kiss the python, and it clamps onto her nose and won't let go, okay? And there's video of this. Yeah. Yeah, there is video, and the handlers were desperately trying to get it, and then the clip goes dark because they didn't want to probably show what they had to go do next. She ended up needing 5 stitches in her nose, and they have offered her translated into dollars, $3,700 in damages. Why should she get damages for sticking her face in front of a python?
No, I think they need to sue her for damaging the python.
I think so,
because I'm
too.
thinking that python was probably injured in removing it from her face.
Well, I guess the only thing is it depends on if that's what you're supposed to do. Like when you go to the reptile thing and they hand you the baby alligator and you hold it and they have you pose for pictures, like kissing. Like if they were having her pose that way and then it attacked her, but if she was just, going in all on her own accord.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. So, yeah,
Idiot.
Yeah, duh.
It's a wild freaking animal.
Bed bugs, bed sex, right? I'm sorry, dude. Detroit, by the way, is the worst bed bug infested city in the United States. Did you guys know that?
No.
Yeah. Philadelphia is number 2, Cleveland, and then LA comes in at number 4. I trust this data because it comes to us via Terminix. They know their shit when it comes to bugs. So, dude was frustrated, 30 years old, and he went and sprayed rubbing alcohol all over his couch and his body, and then lit a cigarette. 911.
Ouch.
Severe burns. 10 units burnt down. This was like a big deal. Once again, it's like, hi. There's this thing called Darwin, and, I'm surprised the python didn't eat the lady. But, oh, my God, this guy is, like, in the burn unit. It's a bad deal.
Oh, no, that's not how you get rid of it. I mean, that's tough. I mean, we have eagles again. We have a whole bunch of other things because we don't have, oh, my God, what was the
DDT?
DDT, yeah. I mean, they got rid of the DDT, and that's what they were using to kill bed bugs. I mean, I saw 3 bald eagles yesterday when I was driving errands and going to the bank and doing some things. So the bald eagles are back, and the large raptors are back, and all that sort of things because there's no longer the DDT that's screwing up their shells and all that. But they haven't come up with an effective kill yet for the bed bugs, and they're making its way back.
Yeah.
So whoever does figure that out is going to make millions.
Yeah, and I bet you it's going to be one of those things where it's so simple. You know what I mean? And something like really otherwise innocuous.
I hope
that's
so,
probably what that guy was thinking. He's like, I'll be a genius. I'll try rubbing alcohol if it works. Patent it as under a special name and make money and
not so much. Well, we hope that he recovers. So
it doesn't let the bed bugs bite.
Okay, you just had to, didn't you?
I'm sorry.
So, dude goes. Where was this? This was in Michigan again. A lot of crap in Michigan.
Oh, this. By the way, this is Michael's hometown.
Oh,
yeah, which made it even funnier when I found that out.
Did you read the story?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not judgmental. I don't think that The Rock makes the marriage. And so guy goes in, he's 25, she's 20, spends $29.62 on a ring, does a dramatic drop-to-the-knee proposal in Walmart. Also fine. I'm a Wally fan. The PA system broadcasts. The store is ecstatic. Customers, it's a Hallmark moment. So they leave the Walmart. They paid for the ring, okay? They leave the Walmart and go to a place called Spencer's, which apparently carries gifts such as a la fantasy gifts, something.
Yeah, it drives me insane.
Yeah. And they went in and went on a sex toy theft binge. They stole an edible thong that said bride to be on it, oral sex candy, which I was wondering what that might be, and a vibrator. And they spent their engagement night in separate cells in jail. Anyone?
Yeah, a couple of things. One, cheap ass crap at Spencer's. So, and that drives me crazy that they can be places and, where a 12-year-old can go by their Justin, I have no idea who's popular now, but, it used to be that the SpongeBob SquarePants merchandise would be, right across the aisle from.
Oh, it
from
still
the
is.
It still is, yeah. It drives me nuts. But I'm just, to get engaged and then
go on a crime spree?
And they go on a crime spree. So, I'm like, this is not, their names are not Bonnie or Clyde. And so it just seems like this was not the most well thought out thing. I'm just curious whether or not this I really hope that at one point someone does a follow through on whether or not these two actually get married.
And if they do, I certainly hope they don't procreate. I'm just saying. So last week was all about blowjobs in a good way. We were all about promoting blowjobs, discussing, getting more people interested in blowjobs and things like that. This week, we're going to go the other way. We are. Because we got some blowjob caveats here. There was a guy in Florida, and he was getting a blowjob while driving. Not a good thing.
No, I do not.
Don't recommend.
No, do not understand this concept.
No. He hit something. He thought he ran over a log, but it was a cyclist, and he killed him.
Ugh.
So that was seriously bad, and it doesn't say. I mean, he's on charges. He's being held on charges of vehicular homicide. No clue as to the woman that he had just met and picked up at a bar who was doing this will be also charged as an accomplice. I think she should be.
Yeah, that would definitely be an accessory.
Yeah.
So we're going to stay. This one's funny, though. I mean, death should never be amusing, but in this case, it sort of is. This happened in Berlin on Christmas Day. What did that condom machine ever do to you that you and your two buddies felt like you needed to blow it up? Okay.
Okay.
So basically, I guess they were trying to rob it for the coin, but how much money is really going to be in there? A couple $100? Like, seriously? I mean,
I'm not even sure of that.
Yeah, I know, right? So they put explosives on it, and the 29-year-old man, this is right by the Dutch border, actually. He got hit by a piece of shrapnel from the condom machine and died. So
wait a minute, a person who's just in the area, or
one of the robbers.
One of the robbers. Okay,
which makes it even better. If it was an innocent, I'd be really
I was
upset.
just checking on that because okay, when I was growing up, there was a teenage girl movie where they're all at camp and they were gonna. I think Matt Dillon was in it.
Oh
and
yeah, that was was it Little Darlings?
Yeah, Little Darlings, and
Yeah.
Jodie Foster and all that was in it. And they were, and I remember they put the little kid through the bathroom window transomed, and she kicked the hell out of the condom machine and then got running out the door with it. And I always wonder, I said the condom machine was about as big as this kid, and I was like, I bet that was awkward. I wonder how many times this little kid had to go running with the condom machine to film this. But that's somehow that reminded me of that old movie.
Yeah, no, that was Christy McNichol.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
God, and wasn't it Tatum O'Neal?
Tatum O'Neal or Jodie Foster.
I think it was Tatum O'Neal.
Tatum O'Neal, yeah.
Yeah.
Tatum O'Neal, yes.
Yeah, oh God. Yeah, that was quite the movie. I remember that. We were both kids when that came out. That was kind of ooh when you and oh God, we're dating ourselves, Colleen. Shh.
Yeah, I'm a little lost.
Yeah, shut up, Megan. Just shut up.
It is the gloriousness of early 80s teen movies. It is pretty funny.
Nice.
You will giggle.
This was a notch up from Judy Blume.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know who that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was the name of that stupid novel?
Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, or Blubber, or
what's the one with the sex in it that everybody wrapped in paper?
Oh God!
To take to school. Oh my God. Okay, we should give a prize out for that one for the first person that Facebooks us for that. We're gonna bring it back up into the levity zone here. This one's funny. We've talked about people having sex with mailboxes and other different things.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, tailpipes. Yeah.
Well, now we're talking a trailer hitch here, but or this because it happened in England. They call it the tow bar over there. And this story, if I could do an English accent, would be ever so slightly funnier if I could. But the way this whole thing goes down, no pun intended, is funny. Now, you would assume that he's like humping the gas tank or whatever. Okay. No. He's of a different orientation. So he was trying to lower himself down on
the
top
hitch
of
orientation.
Yes. He doesn't want to suck the chrome off it. He wants to do it otherwise. So here's what.
Well, it has a large flange. It's not going to get stuck.
Liz would approve.
Yeah, it is safe. I
Yeah.
will say
Yeah.
it is anal safe.
Tetanus much? I'm just saying, guys. I mean, I'd want all my shots before trying that one. But what happened was the way he gets caught is classic. This woman said her 15-year-old granddaughter was staying with her, and they live in kind of a resort town. And she looks out the window and because she hurt something, and she sees this whole dude with his bare ass trying to go down on the trailer hitch, and she goes screaming into her grandmother's room, crying, traumatized by this. And so they called the cops, and he was nabbed totally naked. It was disgusting, said Jackie Walker. God,
Why would you have to be totally nude to screw a hitch? I mean,
well, for a guy, pants down is totally nude, isn't it?
I guess so.
I mean, because that's where everything pretty much is. There's nothing else that they're not allowed to show.
I'm sorry, but this reminds me of, okay, so I don't know if it got to you, but Megan sent me a list of another BuzzFeed thing about, this woman asked to send a list of weird sex toys. And some of them we actually carry. I don't really know how weird some of it is, but then again, we're jaded. But it reminded me, there was like a gnome that you could use as a butt plug, but there was no flame. I mean, there was no base to it.
Oh.
So you could, it was a big gnome, but it had no, I'm like, if someone actually thinks that this can be used, no, there's got to be a base. Yeah.
Side note, this job. Okay, so I'm
afraid
scrolling through Facebook, and I'm on this the Twin Cities Geek, where we had gotten one of our bloggers, Bree, from, and there was this article, and I'm assuming it's a joke, and it is a ranking of Pokemon toys, best to worst to put up your butt.
Nice.
Of all these Pokemon figures.
I'm so glad someone took the time to do this.
Yeah, it was great. And I'm sure it was, but I immediately, work mode snapped on, and I'm commenting, and I'm like, I just feel it is my responsibility to tell you that none of these are anal safe, and if it doesn't have a base, you can't. And I'm like, what am I doing?
Wait, someone may not know.
Yeah, that was my thing.
Yeah, someone.
I was like, what if some person actually looks at this, doesn't know it's a joke, tries it? Like, it is my duty.
I like your responsible citizenship.
Yes, with great power comes great responsibility.
And may I just say the reason they got the idea to probably put that together? Because think about it, Poke-amon. I mean, right?
Yep.
So I'm just saying.
It's like Jamaican sex.
Right, Pokemon. There's something that I forgot to put on the actual outline, but Megan, I sent it to you because you are our web geek for the Facebook page. And if you haven't visited the Great Northern Sex Cast, I'm sorry, that's one of the most fun pages on there. I love you do such a kick-ass job with that. And I sent you a link for these cartoons that show sex as people want to believe it is, and then when it really is. And did you look at them?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
They are hilarious. So we've got to put the links up to those, and those are just fantastic. So look for that at the Great Northern Sex Cast, and send us, too. By the way, we get some of our best stuff from the insomniac episodes of our participants in the show and our audience. So if you're up and you see something freaky, send us a link at Facebook.
Yeah, definitely.
We love that.
Yeah, or questions, if you have anything you want to hear talk about, or
people, guests you want us to get to. Yeah. Okay, so guys, this was pretty interesting. Do you remember, I think, Megan, you were here, a few months ago, we talked about a really significant survey that was backed by the British government and conducted over there in the UK about sexuality. And it really, the gist of it all boiled down was that there is a definite shift in the perception of personal sexuality in the age groups, meaning that people over a certain age were very clear on being hetero, homo, or bisexual, but mostly hetero and very, you know what I mean, in the older age groups. Younger people were like, well, there was a sliding scale. Remember that?
More fluid.
Yeah. Okay. The same has come out in a CDC, Centers for Disease Control study here in the United States. So I guess this is kind of a worldwide, thing now. And so let me read you a couple of the stats. I'd love to hear kind of what you think. And they did not do this small. These were people 18 to 44 years old, 9,175. That's pretty good.
Okay, yeah,
that's
you're
pretty
going to be able to.
Yeah. Okay, so women aged 25 to 44 were more likely to say they were heterosexual or straight and less likely to say they were bisexual compared with women aged 18 to 24. Almost a mirror image of what we saw before. And men, they didn't have an age pattern, and I'm not really sure what that means. Almost 3 times as many women, and the total number there is 17%, 17.4, reported that any same-sex contact in their lifetime compared with men's 6.2. So 17.4% of women have made out with another chick or done more compared to 6% of guys. 75.9% of women and 88.6% of men 18, 20 to 24 said they were attracted only to the opposite sex. So what does that mean? It means almost 25% of women who say that they're straight are like, yeah, I'm kind of attracted to women. And then, about 12%, 11.5% of men. That's a pretty big spread. Because it said that back in years back, the numbers were never dropped below 90% for men who said that they were.
No, I think folks are just less afraid of telling the truth now.
You do?
There's just more acceptance of the idea and the truth that who you're, that it is not set in stone or, on who you're attracted to. That, that there are degrees.
Yeah.
That it's, that the gray area is much larger than certain folks would like to even, believe that it exists.
Yeah.
That way.
I mean,
and they just, you've got this study, you've got a whole bunch of stuff, and the more that comes out, I think the numbers will adjust even accordingly as people feel comfortable saying, yeah, this is who I am. I mean, I know quite a number of folks that I know that are under 20 are expressing just, I don't know who I'm attracted to, and I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. Which it just would not happen before. They would just feel the need to conform, and that's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even have the vocabulary, to talk about, something.
Yeah, I mean, all those numbers seem to.
Does that feel right to you? 'Cause
Yeah,
you're closest
it does.
to that age bracket.
Honestly,
in the room.
and especially with the percentage of women who might identify as bisexual in the 18 to 24 that range, because I think that's when you are discovering yourself and really discovering your sexuality and what. And I think there's a lot of women are more. I think society lets them experiment a little more. It's still a little more
I think
free.
So too. Yeah.
And so there's that, it just makes me think of the term lug, like the lesbian until graduation, where all the, the girls will go through their dating women phase in college, and it's much more acceptable, and not to say that there's, to insult those people at all. For a lot of people, that's how you know. Mm-hmm. It's like, how do I know I don't like sushi until I eat sushi?
Right. Right.
Which is why I'm surprised that actually that's 17% of women who have tried things with other women. I'm surprised that's not
a bigger number.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not higher, especially if they just mean like kissing.
Oh God, who hasn't done that?
Right.
I mean, I don't know anybody.
Well, obviously the numbers were higher before, but this was the only folks that admitted it. Now this, so you look at these numbers and you figure more people admit it, but that probably means there's more folks that are, that are doing it. I don't think there's always going to be, folks that are still not comfortable, answering anything other than what's been considered, your basic, male-female relationship. Mm-hmm.
Well, and that, even the age range up to 44, I would be surprised if women weren't, oh yeah, I was a teenager once. I made out with my friend at a party, or there's this one crazy slumber party, or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't actually interview folks that were a lot older too, because now that folks are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, they're looking around the world and said, I can actually say who I am now. Mm-hmm. It's becoming, a lot easier for folks to finally be who they, known they have been, but we're just unable to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got one for you. One of my friends who listens to the podcast.
Hi, friend.
Hello. Sweet Sue. She called us out a little bit on last week's blowjob conversation, and it wasn't the blowjob part. She agreed with Michael and me, and then, of course, made the same assessment that I have. Isn't Colleen just the adult in the room always? And I said, yes, she is. But you brought up the part about, everything going back to communication. And she just said, that sounds so basic. But she said, and she's in the middle of a divorce, and she said, if communication were so easy, we'd all be doing it. And
I know that's the thing. That's what makes it difficult, is that you go back to that, and I don't know where we have, where the thing is that makes that so hard. Mm-hmm. Is it, and it doesn't seem to be a particular Western society thing, or it's just something about humans. I mean, what is it that keeps us from talking to each other?
I know. And I brought that up because, you said we're more comfortable, the results of the study we were just talking about, maybe we're more comfortable telling the truth. Then why can't we communicate? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's still the big elephant in the room.
We still, but see, I'm pretty sure that was anonymous. When you're looking at someone in front of them and you could possibly hurt their feelings, you tend, or something could be said to you that would hurt your feelings. I think you just, it's protection. But like I said, I don't know where, I don't know, how you make it any different. I mean, it just, at what point do you finally just, decide I'm going to be brave enough to do this? I don't think there'd be a $1 zillion therapy industry in this country if people knew how to talk about things.
Mm-hmm. By extension, here's another one for you. Someone else that I know is getting a divorce, and my significant and I were out for a walk, and I was kind of filling him in on the whole thing. He knows both parties, and the soon-to-be ex-husband is really, an extensive douchebag and always has been. And he's like, well, is everybody coming out and saying to her that, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I don't know. And he asked me if I said such a thing. And I said, no. Before they got married, I did the thing that the friend is never supposed to do lest you risk the entire friendship, and tried to talk her out of marrying him. I did. I'll own that. And I was nice about it, and I wasn't like, he's a dick, don't marry him. I mean, I was far more, couth than that. But I did try to get her to postpone and reconsider and stuff like that, which is very risky. Yep. Okay, but I haven't, and I said, now that, she married him and they're breaking up, I'm not about to rub her nose in it.
Right, then it's a told you so.
Because she lived it. So then he turns the spotlight over onto me and said, well, did people, how many people came out of the woodwork when you were getting divorced and said, oh, I never thought you guys were right for each other? And I said, scores. He said, how many people said something on the front end? And I said, nobody. And, what about that quandary, when it comes to things? I mean, what do you guys think about this?
I've been in it.
Okay, what tell me.
I put my opinion out there, and then I said, now that's all I can do, and I'm done. And if you're happy, I'm happy. I mean, you can't change someone's mind.
That's kind of how I did it.
You could just put out your opinions, and then they can take it or leave it. But you know that you tried.
But did you feel like you just needed to be truthful?
Yes.
But then, do you, by extension, feel that the people that don't say anything but admit it later are lying?
No, I think that that whole hindsight thing. I think they should keep their damn mouth shut. If you didn't say anything beforehand, keep your damn mouth shut.
Yeah, that can't be helpful. I would imagine to hear that he's a bad guy.
Right.
And and then a lot of times, I mean, I know several people that have gone through or might be going through divorce and stuff like that. And for the most part, it is very rare that you have enough information to pull it aside, pull someone aside. But I think you have to say it. Here are my concerns, and I'm putting it out there, and now I'm done, and I won't mention it again, unless because at least because a lot of times if you poke too much, then they're going to cling. There's about 1,000 advice columnists where people, where someone's, bugging their kid to break up with someone or bugging their friends like that, and they just cling harder to that person. Mm-hmm. So you say, here's, but after the fact, now that's just being an ass. Mm-hmm.
I think the one exception obviously would be like abuse. This was like, I just had some issues with this person, but was never abusive or hurting my friend in any way. Mm-hmm. I think if that in that sort of situation is where you would really need to push.
Okay. Yeah, you can push, but you still need to be saying, I'm there when you're ready to make a decision. Mm-hmm. I've looked up resources when you're ready to make a decision, because you're not going to force anyone to do anything, because it is embarrassing. I mean, and that's it to know that you made a mistake. Mm-hmm. And I think that I think that it goes to a business decision or a personal decision or a political decision. I think people fight because they're embarrassed to admit they were wrong. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's that's another thing that does the $1 billion therapy industry, is for someone to finally realize that they're, they made a mistake, but it's okay because it's part of who you are, and you move forward, and hopefully you learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't want to keep doing it.
But I think Megan, you called it pretty right on. It's the abuse thing too, for sure. Well, so 5 fixes for saying the wrong name in bed. Okay, let's just take a little survey around the table. Have you ever screamed out the wrong name in bed, or had someone that you were with do the same?
No.
Nope. Been lucky.
Okay, I've done it.
So is number 1 fix time machine?
Right? No.
Well, I was just thinking that, and I'm like, there were 2. We were talking about this on the way over because we got a little outline here, and I'm thinking, okay, someone could have Tourette's. That would be an excuse, or possibly someone is married to a widow. And you could see someone, or, something like that. If someone was in love, there's a couple of things there, but I'm like, okay. So I was dying to know what in the world there would be 5 fixes for saying it. I mean,
I like these, and I actually thought they were well thought out.
Okay,
and Meg,
okay.
I gave us the whole link for the Facebook page, so if you want to read the whole thing, because these 2 gals that write this particular column, they're funny. So it might be one that the audience might want to revisit going forward. But this was in response to a write-in letter. It's like, oh shit, I did this. Okay, so number 1 is to put yourself in the shoes of the person that you've just done this to. Smart, I think. And say, you know what, I understand. And you need to really be respectful of any need that they need to distance themselves right in that moment or for a short period of time, and don't be dismissive or defensive. I think that's smart, because if you, what's the matter, that doesn't help matters.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree. 2, I love this one. Emphasize the meaninglessness. Assure them that this was a misfired synapse and not a Freudian kind of slip. Mm-hmm. That it was kind of one of those things. And they even managed to put in here that you could mention Freud was a creative crackpot whose theories have mostly been debunked anyway. These girls are funny. What do you think, Colleen? You had a thought. I can tell.
But the thing is that what you just said in the second excuse sort of negates the first part you just did. Where what's the problem? Did I just miss something there?
If they want to talk about it.
Okay. Sorry. Just checking. Yep. So I'm like, wait a minute.
So this one's funny. They say that you should apologize, but you don't need to act like you got caught cheating or took away their ice cream cone. It was a silly mistake, as they say. And if your partner has a decent sense of humor, you might try, and don't fuck this up, to make a joke out of it. This could go horribly wrong. So I think that you shouldn't try this unless you're particularly humorously adept, personally. But they said, this one guy said, realizing what I just did, I started rattling off other girls' names with each one getting a successive punch in the shoulder. And they ended up, cracking up and just moving on. I think that's funny, but I don't know. That's a dicey one. What do you think?
Yeah, you have to know the humor quotient of the person you're with.
Megan,
yeah, I'm not sure you could. I think that could backfire a hell of a lot more.
Because I'm hilarious, but I wouldn't find that shit funny.
No. No.
I got a good sense of humor, but that ain't funny.
No.
Oh, wait, Corinne. Oh, wait, Julie. No. Yeah. Well, it worked for him. Good for him. The next one, number 4, stroke their ego. Convince your partners, however you choose to do that you are totally into them and only them. And, just make sure that you really make an effort for a while to reinforce exactly what it is that you do love about them going forward, and make it a long-term project.
Mm-hmm.
Suck up.
Yeah, I suppose. Because we haven't gotten to the 5th one here, but there are so many caveats here. Whose name was it? How was it said? How long have you been seeing this person? There's a lot of information here that that's a little that you need to have versus just don't be an idiot.
That's why I stick with baby.
Oh my God, you just came into number 5. Train yourself on a no-name policy.
Yep.
Baby or oh God.
Mm-hmm.
God, you can't. Nobody's gonna get pissed for that. Well, unless they're an
Yeah,
atheist.
yeah.
They're
You
fucking
got
an
you
atheist.
got to go with some pet names, general baby, sweetie. I don't know whatever you want. There's got to be. Yeah.
Just call them all big man. Hey, big man.
Have you found that to be effective?
I'm going to write it down. I haven't tried it yet. But next Tuesday if I come back.
Yeah.
Just write calendar that right in. So, have you guys, any of you, could you ever say that you have felt that you have done the walk of shame?
Yes. Yes. I was going to say, I'm trying to imagine if I actually felt shame, because I think that's different than just leaving a one night stand situation.
Have you ever gotten, wow, everybody can tell that I got my brains fucked out last night. Hello, good morning. Hi, hello.
Oh, see,
Well, if you're leaving a
I make
dorm,
them come to me because
yeah,
I'm lazy.
if you leave a dorm room at like 5 o'clock in the morning, what else are you doing? I mean, it's just, I don't quite understand the concept of shame, though. Although I have to admit, I have talked about watching what people would consider this when I go. I haven't been to Vegas in a while, but there's nothing better than Vegas early in the morning with a cup of coffee near the entrance to the casino or the hotel you're staying in, and watching people come out of cabs, holding shoes, looking for sunglasses, completely inappropriate dressed for 6 o'clock in the morning. Obviously they had fun. And they got separated from their friends. But I don't call it, I think it's the woo, I had fun walk, and now I need coffee, aspirin, and a nap.
Well, Colleen, I completely concur on Vegas. Years ago, it was funny when I was still married, my ex, possibly as important to the future, told me one year that I needed to go on a vacation by myself because I really was kind of stressed out. And so he said, where would you like to go for 3 days? And you can do whatever you want and spend whatever you want. It was kind of a neat, deal. And so I'm like, wow, at that time, bazillion years ago, I was not comfortable with the idea of traveling alone. I had never done it, rather. So I'm like, okay, well, I think I'll go to Vegas because there's cameras everywhere. I wasn't scared to be there because I felt like I would be alone in a million people. And it was. Go for a run in Vegas at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. You will see everything that Colleen just described and more. And the hookers going back in and the whole, the whole 9 yards. It's unbelievable.
Oh, God, I've always traveled on my own.
Really?
Oh God, yeah. At one point, friends were getting married, or they're doing different things, or they're paying for college, and I couldn't find anyone to go on a vacation with, and I'm like, well, screw it, I'll just go. And so I have traveled all over the place by myself. It is a hoot. You kick back. There's lots of napping. Lots of reading.
Yeah.
And it's a ton of fun. Always done it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, good for you that you had the cojones to try it at a younger age. I had a riot. One of my favorite things about doing that in Vegas was, I'd go get a salad and a glass of wine and sit at the bar at one of the nicer places or whatever. And I always managed to get into conversations with like an elderly couple. And that is the best time ever. They're fun because they're in Vegas, and they're out doing whatever. And I mean, I remember, we were talking about wine, and my wine, I was having like a $15 glass of wine, and the husband was just appalled, like what cost $15 a glass or whatever. So he's tasting it. They were like from Indiana or some crap. We had a riot, so no, it's really, really good. Well, I'm going to read a couple of these, and I think that we should have a vote.
Okay.
There's a couple of them that are really good and a couple of them that
okay,
suck
so we
ass.
have new names here.
Stride of Pride.
I like that. Okay.
Post-coitus catwalk. Like you're supposed to own it. Come on.
It's too many syllables.
My shoes. Okay, victory lap. Too
generic. I think it's too generic.
After sex saunter. Post-sex saunter would sound better. Morning cardio. I like that.
Your cardio was the night before.
Well, there's that.
I would maybe the sexual cool down.
That's not on the list, but I like it. Personal parade. That's lame. Booty call bounce. Trek of triumph.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm done with that one.
It's got a ring.
Yeah.
Round 2 makes no sense to me. I'll go back to the sack. Thank you very much. Encore.
Too generic again.
Yeah. Single lady strut. We're assuming it's a woman that only does this.
I don't. Yeah.
bringing home the bacon makes no sense to me. You're leaving the bacon.
Yeah, you're leaving it behind.
Yeah.
You like see ya, bacon.
And the last one sounds like a Hallmark movie, A Walk Home.
No, what was the first one again?
Stride of Pride.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's
a hands down winner?
Yeah, completely.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. The whole concept of the walk of shame and everything else goes back to the public attitudes about, everything that's all getting turned around, at this point. And the question though, I think the biggest revelation from today's show, you guys, is, people are telling the truth more in surveys, but are we going to start telling the truth more to each other?
I know.
And how do we make that happen?
Well, baby steps. First, you start with the anonymous, and then you look at the person in front of you and you say something.
So anonymous and like commenting under a fake name on the internet, or what are we talking, Colleen?
Oh, no, but
There's enough of that.
No, you're talking about the, like when they're answering a survey truthfully. So hopefully they can, answer their friends and their family and their other folks truthfully, coming up.
Oh my God. Guys, really, we are really like 32 days out from Valentine's Day. Well.
Oh, yeah, we've got,
Are you ready? Megan, you're just going.
I'm sorry, you put me in slight panic mode.
Well, I think Liz has the lingerie swapped out.
Yeah, we have got Valentine lingerie now in the stores.
Let's see. I don't know if we'll have the new posters done. I'm still in the process of tasting lubes to update the posters. The merchandise is in. We've got plenty of toys in, stuff like that.
I think we might be getting a few special items for the holiday that we can.
I believe
talk when we get to them.
I think WeVibe's sending out a special red version.
Yeah, a red version, and now they have it's like a rabbit style WeVibe, which is crazy exciting because WeVibe is the best.
Is it?
Yeah, they have it's. I really like their bullets. They have a couple bullet styles. Whenever someone's like, "What's the best bullet?" I'm like, "Here, take it. Don't even." I've had mine for like 5 years. It is a workhorse.
Okay.
No, I probably.
But some new styles with that is exciting.
Yeah, I probably get the most questions about the WeVibe when people, send me, private notes and stuff like that. What about this? Yes, get it.
Is this a good? Yes.
Yes. We go through that. If you need some sexy heels for Valentine's, I did pretty much finish putting all the
shoe stuff done?
Got the shoe stuff done. So that was. It's really I cannot believe how much glow in the dark stuff there is. It is fascinating. Now most of it's not even in stock yet, so that probably won't even be available until like July. They send out the catalogs early. But I'm just like, I lived through the neon 80s. I don't need to do it again. But then again, I rarely go out to places where there's black lights anymore. So maybe that's the problem. I can't even, a few times when I do go out dancing, it's either over, to the Varsity or First Avenue when a local DJ does something called Transmission. I go out and do that and dance my brains out with all the other 30, 40, and 50-year-olds. And then the younger ones coming in. It's a lovely place, but I'm not even sure there's black lights there. So
you need to go over to the gay 90s and go upstairs. If you have not watched the pole dancing room in a while, it is a night out. And that place is, even despite its name, everybody goes there.
Yep.
And it's fun.
Yeah, I like it because I can only dance to 80s music.
Oh.
So they do have like an 80s room.
Okay. Do you ever go up though and watch the poles where it's where the public is allowed to use the poles? They only have
that sounds dangerous.
Well, yes, it is. You go upstairs and they do have 2 go-go dancers that are, professionals, so to speak. But then there's, I think about 5. And there's this one guy who every time I've been there, you guys, is there. And he brings a gear bag. Okay, he's like a short, sort of slightly built dude. And he wears tennis shoes and a Speedo. But then he has like little costumes and little grippy gloves. And he changes. And he owns a pole like the whole time. He's always there. Worth it. My favorite, though, is when the doughy white dudes go up there and decide to start taking off their shirts. It's fantastic. You can't make this shit up.
Oh my God, the black lights against that would be pretty tough. I do remember my gin and tonics. The first time I noticed that gin and tonics glow in the dark.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry.
Excellent. No, Colleen just had a moment.
I'm having a little moment. I'm thinking of a trip to Europe I did when I was 19 years old with a friend, and I discovered that gin and tonics glow in the dark. I went, "Whoa, look at this! This is fun."
It's funny though with Valentine's. I know, like on a personal note, like I haven't celebrated Valentine's since. How long have I been working? For
Yeah,
the
I mean
company?
it's on a Sunday. It's on a Sunday this year, and I haven't brought it up in the Tuesday meetings yet. But it's going to be a busy weekend for us.
Are you?
Yeah.
Is it because you've been single, Meg, or
No, it's you generally because I'm working.
okay?
Yeah, I mean we're at the stores. We're filling up merchant. I can't sell something that's in the warehouse.
Yep.
Right.
So we need to.
We do extra shifts and extra hours like that.
Oh, that's cool.
And now, actually, my boyfriend, our year is on the 22nd. So I'm kind of like, well, let's just wait for our year anniversary, and then we can go and not fight crowds and go get, food that's not jacked up in price and buy me some discount flowers or candy. Or I'm cool.
My dad.
I'm kind of like that too.
Yeah, my guy cooks for me, so I'll work all damn day, and then I'll come back over to my house. We do it at my house that way he doesn't have to clean,
Nice.
and it just works out really well. But I mean, it's going to be a busy weekend, and more than likely we will be in on Saturday, checking stock and bringing stuff out to stores.
Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way it's going to be. It's the joy of retail and the vibrator industry.
It's great. It's our biggest holiday. We love it.
Vibe on, people.
Screw a card. Nothing says I love you like a new personal appliance.
I couldn't agree with you more. On that note, guys, good to see you this week, and we are going to amp up towards Valentine's Day. Again, hit us up on Great Northern Sexcast on Facebook. Great page. Megan is locked and loaded with all the stuff that you've heard here. You can go more in depth, and you can send us some of your stuff too. Guys, great day. Have a great day, great show, and we'll see you guys next week.
Sounds
Bye.
great.